Hello, folks. How you doing? Jeff Eubanks here. July the 2nd, 8:13 in the evening. Out here smoking my autumn evening, some Cornell and Deal, and my granddaddy's Willard pipe. Had a little storm come through just a little bit ago. It may rain 5 minutes. I mean, it thundered all around, lightning, the wind blowing. I mean, biblical almost. I watched it on my phone on the radar. It went all around us. Been doing that for years. I understand now why my granddaddy could be a ill person from time to time. If he had to try to survive on this ground and it rained back then the way it rains now, oh boy. Hadn't made a pipeline video in a while, but it's kind of damp outside. Thought I'd just come in the house down here in the pipe lounge. Hadn't done it here in a while. Hope everybody's had a good week. Coming up on the 4th of July holiday, I hope we all take time to recognize the reason we're celebrating 4th of July for our independence. Preacher at church actually preached about that this morning. He didn't read a scripture one, but he preached about the Declaration of Independence and how that we were trying to get away from the tyranny of England. And, pretty interested. We went out to eat after church, took Mom to barbecue joint. She likes barbecue, so went and got her some barbecue. She was happy. I'm off till Wednesday. Monday's my normal day off anyway, because I work 4 10s. But they gave us Tuesday off too, so I got 2 more days off after today. Got plans on cutting down a dead tree out in the front yard. Apple tree had died. Oh, it's 12 inches in diameter at the ground. I went yesterday and got a new chain for my chainsaw. That was an adventure. You would think a 20-inch bar would take a 20-inch chain, but no. You got all kinds of stuff. Kerf width. I mean, stuff like I deal with in a machine shop, and it's chainsaw. So I got one that I thought would work. It didn't. Had to take it back. The reason I got it, well, it was a 20-inch chain. Now, it should have worked. And the reason I picked it, because it had titanium teeth, and I work titanium shop. That's some tough stuff. And had a real cool metal box to come in. But no, it didn't work. I had to take it back and get the dad blame Husqvarna for $4 more in a plastic bag. The way it goes. The way it goes. Oh, I'm gonna take this time to recognize. Lost a good friend. Her father passed, and his funeral was Friday. Good preaching man, and he would watch my videos with her, and he made comments about my blackberries. So I'm gonna try. I don't know how this will work. I'm gonna try to feature his picture right there. Monroe Gunter, fine man. Fine man. Dedicated pastor. When I went to the funeral home visiting, paying him my respects, his daughter and I stood there and talked. Talked about growing up. They had swimming pools. We'd go up there and go swimming. And had a gravel driveway. It wasn't real long, but it was a gravel driveway. And apparently, some of us exceeded the posted speed limit that wasn't posted. Well, Monroe went and got a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit sign and put it on his driveway. And it was pointed out to me that there's a speed limit on that driveway, young man. You need to obey it. Yeah, good times. Good time, but he fought a good fight. He'd been sick for about 1.5 years. The Lord finally called him home peacefully. His daughter was there with him when he passed. She fulfilled the role of a daughter above and beyond what she was required to do. And I know that him being at rest now is peace to the family and her brother. I wish them all good rest, because when you have a family member sick, it's very, very stressful. And I remember a sermon that Monroe preached years ago. Matter of fact, about 10 years ago, when he moved from one house to the other, I helped. And I talked to him. I said, Monroe, I said, I remember a message you preached, and you was talking about a V8 engine and how that the air comes in the carburetor and goes down into the intake and through the manifold. He said, oh yeah, Jeff, I remember that. He said, the manifold grace of God. He said he takes everything and distributes it out exactly where it's supposed to be, and everything works just fine. If you want to read that, it's in 1 Peter, the 4th chapter. And it says, every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. So that's kind of man he was, kind of preacher he was. I don't know how old I was. I don't think I was driving yet. I think I was still a teenager when I heard Monroe preach that message. And it's probably during a revival service or something. But here I am, 56 years old, and I'm repeating it to you. The manifold grace of God, don't forget about it, people. That takes care of everything. God takes care of everything for us. He puts it where it's supposed to be. He mixes it just right. And old Monroe, he went through the firing order of V8 engine. I remember he said, when you pull up at the drugstore on Saturday night, you want those windows rattling in that drugstore. And he said, you had to be hitting on 2-4 times. He went all through the firing range. He was a heavy equipment operator, and he told me the story. Well, I heard the story, heard him tell it. He wasn't just telling me, but he was clearing for a subdivision, and they had a big old pile of brush, and he was pushing stuff up with a bulldozer, and somebody else was too. And the guy he was working with, somehow or another, a pine tree stood up straight in the middle of their brush pile. And, that was back before cages were required on bulldozers. And Monroe said he turned around just in time to see that thing coming. It caught him right in the head. And he said where it caught him in the head, it was as big around as his leg, knocked him slap out. He come to, I think, in the ambulance going to the hospital. Tough man, hard worker. He had a garage at his house big enough where he could raise the bed of his dump truck. I mean, it was nice. It was real nice. They had a real nice swimming pool. Me and one of my buddies, we would jump he had a retaining wall, and me and Mark would jump from the retaining wall into the pool and scare his daughter to death. That's what guys did back then. So anyway, I just want to take that little bit of time to recognize one of my watchers, my viewers, whatever you call them, and I went and paid my respects, me and my wife, and he's a good guy. He really was. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Monroe was a good man. He certainly was. His daughter in his obituary said he could roar like a lion, but be as gentle as a lamb. And buddy boy, that was Monroe to a T. I mean, I told her, I said, you touched every base there was in his little obituary. But think about that, the manifold grace of God, man, that's deep. You start talking about how God can control things, how he controls things. I mean, it's just, it's unreal. Making the stars shine, making the sun shine, making it rain 3 miles down the road, not doing nothing here. I mean, but no, that's just what it is. The manifold grace of God, he can take care of you. That he can. But anyway, just thought I'd talk about that. We're coming up on honey harvesting season. It won't be, hopefully next weekend, we're going to be slinging some honey. Slinging honey here. Still got Dad's Bible down here. Miss Dad. Still miss Dad. Father's Day was not good. But you know, I saw something the other day. Well, I was helping a buddy of mine, and he's big into squirrel dogs. And he was cleaning out his dog boxes on his truck. And he's talking about dogs, and he named off one. And I said something about, you know, I saw a video of old Jerry Clower talking about dogs I have known. And old Mark chimed in, he said, Brumby. I said, yeah, Brumby. Brumby, that was one of the coon dogs that Jerry Clower had. That made me think, dogs I've known. The first dog in my memory was a beagle that my granddaddy gave. He got me and my sister both beagles, and rabbit dogs. Well, hound dogs aren't real bright. And I had a very traumatic incident with his name was Bullet, and Pam's dog was named Lucky. And my aunt was building a house right down below Mom and Dad's house. And we was walking out to walk down the road to go to the new house I was going, and Bullet was in front of me. You know, Bullet walked right out on the road in front of a car, got hit right in front of me. Oh man. Probably why I am the way I am today. I mean, it was pretty rough on the little guy watching his dog get run over. He didn't make it, he died. And then we didn't have a dog for a long time. And then a coon dog looking dog showed up, and I can't, one of those black and tan looking things. Somebody, I don't know if they lost it out hunting or somebody, you know, we lived in close proximity to the church, and people would always put out animals at the church for some reason. They wouldn't come to church, but they'd drop their dog or their cats off. But this old coon dog looking thing showed up. Well, we started feeding it. I'm thinking me and Dad was calling it Bo. I'm not sure. But Bo got hit too out there on the road. 180 from that. Following weekend, Mark, same guy I was talking about with the Brumby, I saw him in front of his car messed up. I said, well, what happened to your car? He said, man, I had a big old dog just right over the road in your house one night. I said, man, that was my dog. What are you talking about? That's a good laugh. But then we had Hooch and Sarge. Hooch was a Heinz 57 dog, bobtail. He's probably one of the smartest dogs we ever had. Sarge was a boxer boxer pit bulldog mix. He was a good dog. Hooch just come up missing. We never did find out whatever happened to Hooch. He was missing for about 6 or 8 months one time, and somebody had locked him up in a cage in a fenced-in yard or something. But he finally got out, and my sister and her husband apprehended him one morning. They was driving down the road, and there was Hooch running alongside the road. So they stopped, picked him up, brought him home. But after that, though, it was several years. He's come up missing. I don't know if he got out and somebody shot him. There's no telling. Sarge, he ended up having to be, Dad had to have him put down. He had cancer. And then by that time, I had moved out, and we had got boxers, had Duke. He was a flashy fawn brindle and a beautiful dog and smart. He was smart. And with Duke, we got Duchess then, a female, and we raised a few litters. And Duke got sick, had to put him down, and so he had cancer. Then we got Zeus. Well, Duchess didn't like Zeus too much, but she finally accepted him, and then Duchess got sick. She had something, brain tumor or something. She just walked in circles, and had to have her put down. So then when Duchess died, we got another one, Apollo. We had Zeus and Apollo. That was from Magnum PI, you know. And then Zeus, I didn't have him long at all, and he got sick with cancer in his stomach. I had to have him put down. And then I'll be darned if the same thing didn't happen to Apollo. Within a year and a half, had to do the same thing to him. And gosh, that's rough, having to put your family pet down. And we didn't have a dog for a long time. And then we got Cooper. And he's a pretty good dog. He He's grumpy from time to time. My wife says it's my fault. And then we got Bella, and she's the rebellious one. She won't listen to nobody. So anyway, so those are dogs I have known. There's all good dogs. I miss them all. I miss them all, I really do. But I have rambled on now way too long. I hope y'all have a good day. I hope you found something in this video remotely interesting. I hope I made you laugh. I made you laugh. Do me a favor and push that like button. I could use all the likes I can get. If you're looking for a channel just to kind of check in on every once in a while that has some interesting things, subscribe. By the way, be sure and push that that notification bell. You'll need to push that too. So this is Jeff Eubanks down here in the pipe lounge. A little nasty outside. Oh, it's been so hot. In the pipe lounge, reading to you about God's manifold grace and remembering Reverend Monroe Gunter. Y'all take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.